Little dot ball pressure that Dean just created there brought that wicket on. She brought a bit of aggression from Bosch. Bosch knowing she had to hit it over the infield now because we'd brought some up. And do you know what? Sophie Eccleston has taken that 9 times out of 10. So that's a big mistake from England just there. We'll never say it's an easy opportunity because they never are. It was a good dive from Sophie, but still one that she would tell us she would take that most of the time.
Yeah, she's a good fielder in that position. Got good hands.
She just stood and settled herself to do that dive.
The footwork wasn't particularly quick to her right. It's possibly the criticism one could lay at the door of Sophie Eccleston. 51 for 1, then 9 overs gone. Here comes Sarah Glenn with the leg spin. This is slammed into the turf, but straight to Gibson, who's at a very straight mid-wicket. See a replay of that, and
yeah, it was 2 really good overs strung together. We deserved that, and we've got to take those opportunities in a World Cup.
51 for 1. Next delivery played back towards the bowler. England continuing to build pressure here.
Don't know who's under more pressure here. Obviously, Anneke Bosch just tried a release shot, nearly got out, but Sarah Glenn knows how important it is to keep bowling these dots. She's bowling fantastic here. She's got 4 more balls, obviously. Wolfart just ran down
towards Heather Knight, fielding quite a straight extra cover. 51 for 1 still, 3 dot balls to start the over.
We had Jekyll the other day, didn't we? We've got Hyde today. Sarah Glenn, this is fantastic.
Bowling really nicely. Moving in once more over the wickets, and again, nothing doing. It's just too straight to get away. This is excellent bowling. And Anneke Bosch may wear a smile on her face, but inside she'll be just a little concerned that this over has so far been dominated by...
Do you know if
Sarah
Wolfart
Glenn
hadn't been at the other end, I think she'd have been out by now, honestly.
Moving in, Sarah Glenn with this pressure building on Anneke Bosch. Tossed up, worked into the leg side. There will be a single out towards mid. Laura Wolfart to face the final ball of the first half of the innings. And we've reached this point in rapid time. We've only had 32 minutes.
Yeah, I think these last 3 overs between 2 from Glenn, 1 from Dean have been nice. I've not had to fetch anything. I don't want to jinx them.
There's 1 ball left.
Wicket be nice.
Wolfart on 32, swings at that, out towards the leg side. The outfield is not quick, and Siva Brunt runs around to pick up with a couple of runs possibly on here, and that's good running actually from Bosch, who called it. Throw came in from Siva Brunt, and they do get back for a second. 54 for 1, 10 overs gone, as another note goes in the book from Catherine, to my right.
That is a note. We've got a lovely drinks break for them to get this hydration on board. It's very important here. You get dehydrated in 5 seconds, but yeah, I'm not happy by that from Nat. She had the opportunity to run out. Was it Wolf? No. Bosch. Yes, Wolfart, I think.
Bosch was running to
Bosch,
the danger
sorry, danger end, yeah, she just needed a better throw. Got to the ball well, but the throw wasn't full enough. If you throw it short here, we always love a bounce throw in, but when you've got an outfield like this that's spongy and sandy and mossy, if you throw that in slow, it like stops and goes backwards. So a better throw was required.
Halfway stage then in the South African innings. 54 for 1 is the score. England have rather reined things in after a quick start from South Africa in the power play. We've had an email in from Martin who says, I'm busy at work in London, Apsley House, changing light bulbs in the chandeliers. Nice to have TMS commentary.
Nice to have a chandelier.
Hey.
Look at that.
Look, it reminds me of that scene from Only Fools and Horses, where the chandelier comes crashing down. But I'm sure that won't be the case with you, Martin. That is sensational. Look at that. It's quite
Tell you what, Martin, that looks nice.
Yeah.
Looks like you have a fabulous house. I do love old sort of Victorian houses.
You could go with
high ceilings.
Oh yeah, you could go for a chandelier at your place.
I have.
You haven't.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
It's more of a modern looking one. That's kind of what I wanted, but Nat wouldn't let me because we were going sort of old, new, contemporary. So it's in between. It's lush. I won't say where it's from. We're not supporting anyone here, but it's in the stairwell, whatever you want to call it. It's great. The only thing I'm worried about is there's like 60 glass bits on it. Got to clean that. And then the, like, 8 bulbs. Got to change them.
This is what Martin's
It's a death trap.
Well, there's a lot of work involved. Chandeliers require a lot of upkeep.
They do.
You see, if you're
and make sure you fasten to the ceiling well.
Very important too.
It's so heavy.
Well, yeah.
No, that's a cracker.
That's an absolute belter.
Thank
Thank you, Martin. TMS@bbc.co.uk. Hello to our listeners on the ABC as well, who are with us on ABC Grandstand. Catherine, some more thoughts from you and Daniel Norcross.
Well, I want more thoughts on that chandelier and the UK for a start. Can we have some people just write in and give us an update on the weather scenario? Do we have some beautiful autumn evenings or days yet, or is it just miserable?
Let
us know, yeah.
Well,
let us know,
well,
because we're boiling here.
I saw a tweet that was sent to TMS feed. I'll read it to you. It mentioned an electric blanket, so it doesn't sound like things are too great. Yeah.
Blimey.
And during the day as well. Daniel Castledine said, listening in with electric blanket. Bet it's not cold there. Come on, England, he says.
That's
it isn't
tough
cold.
times at 3:30 in the afternoon.
It is a bit, isn't it?
Is that because you haven't got the heating on, or...?
It's a false economy, though. As Eccleston starts a new over. Big appeal for LBW. Looks close to me. Eccleston's not convinced. Umpire's not convinced. Amy Jones gives a sort of...
We've not got a good angle, have we, Dan? We need a DRS.
Right behind.
They're having a think. All three Jones, Knight, Eccleston thinking.
No, is the conclusion.
No is the answer.
I mean, we're at a very slight angle. We're sort of straight long on. Oh, that looks
dear
out to me.
God.
Well,
that looks like it's hitting the middle of middle. Maybe the top of middle.
Top-ish, I would say. Eccleston in again. This is driven back past Eccleston's left hand. They come through for a single, which they shouldn't have got, as Charlie Dean fumbles at mid-off.
Right, Dan, if that was you, upstairs 4, what you worried about? Because we're not worried about the line.
It's not the
bat.
Unless they thought that it hit the bat. But
the only thing I can think of is bouncing over.
Height, yeah.
But did we get that from that?
Well, it sort of hit in the stomach area, but she was right
because she was
down
sat
on the ground.
floor. She was kneeling on the floor.
Exactly. I want to see a replay of that.
I don't.
Eccleston is in, full driven, but straight to that Simon Brunt. It bounces off her as well, but there is no run.
No.
Here we go.
I'm scared about this one.
Oh dear me. Oh, impact's fine. Wickets, umpire's call. So they wouldn't have got it.
But do you know what?
Next ball's pushed through the offside into the gap between point and extra cover, and they'd get a single, 56 for 1.
Had she got out a classic on your knee, both arms raised, outrageous appeal, Jackie would have been like, of course she's out. You really believe it.
It wasn't convincing,
and then they would have got, no, it was absolutely terrible.
It was a bit tepid.
It was a terrible appeal from everyone involved.
Eccleston in, around the wicket, down the wicket comes Bosch, and she squeezes it out to point, but can't beat the field. I tell you,
I would have gone blue in the face. Would you?
You'd have
we'd have been screaming, backtracking, finger in the air. Actually, I might have just done a, what do you call it, appeal?
Celebra appeal, when you celebrate and appeal simultaneously.
Yeah.
Here comes Eccleston. And this is driven again, but can't beat Nat Simmerbrunt at short mid-wicket. Just the 2 runs off the over. Might have brought a wicket had the umpire given it. 56 for 1 from 11. England have really come back well after the first 4 overs. If I tell you, Wolfart's got 35 off 29, and the rest of South Africa, including extras, has got 21 from 37. That tells you something.
Do you know, you're not going to get much from Jackie, though. Just go back on the umpire there. Jackie's not known for it. She's very tight. It's thank goodness for DRS. But also...
Even when they sweep, though, because umpires often bring that finger out when you sweep.
I think it's all about the appeal.
I agree
confidence.
with you. Yeah, you've got to believe in it, haven't you? Or at least pretend you do. Shane Warne was very good at that.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah Glenn comes in from 2 paces. First ball is cut away to Charlie Dean at backward point, who doesn't fumble this time and ensures there is no run. Sarah Glenn's first 2 overs have gone for just 6 runs. England are applying a lot of pressure here. South Africa are only 1 wicket down, but they're just getting a bit becalmed.
Would you a horrible shot? A filthy hack would be nice.
33 balls since the last boundary as Glenn is in, and that is driven in the air up to long off along the ground. It'll just be 1 more to Wolfhart.
Wolfhart will not be moved. What's the word? She's not being tempted.
No, she's got a wise head on those shoulders.
She's probably like this from the other end. You risk it, I'm all right.
Boschers, I think, is the candidate.
She's going to be the lamb if anyone's doing that.
Glenn is in to Annika Bosch. 4 in the ring on the offside and a short mid-wicket. And she comes down the wicket and slaps this up to long on along the ground for a single. Fielded by Eccleston, who's out there on the boundary. Yeah, she wanted a piece of that, didn't she?
Do you know what? If Sarah Glenn could turn the ball the way... Who's been turning it
Alana
nicely?
King.
Alana
Well, she's
King,
not playing in this.
Georgia Wareham.
Georgia Wareham, yeah.
Alfie Fletcher, people... This would be terrifying right now. With the way she's got it on a piece of string. You add a bit of turn into the mix and you really are suffering.
What she is doing, she's bowling a lot straighter than she did the other day. She's on the money today. She was a little bit behind the pace a couple of days ago. This is driven in the air, but it's going to bounce in front of Eccleston, who once more comes in from the boundary. She bounces up quite nicely for it. She throws in to Glenn. One more.
Is it? Can I just? Can't remember at all whether for Bosch. Is this Bosch facing up? Why have they got mid-off out?
It is Bosch.
Why?
She sweeps and gets a fair piece of it. It goes down towards deep backward square leg. Lindsay Smith is very quick to the ball and fires in a wonderful throw over the top of the stump. She affected a run out the other day really well from the other side of the ground. 64-1, 1 ball left in the 12th.
Yeah, that was a big moment, that. Yeah, I'm a bit confused by that. She was 9 off 20, Bosch, and mid-off is out.
Wolfhard back on strike. Oh, she got for a big old hack, and that's hit her in front. They appeal. She's saying, has that gone down?
Well, I like the appeal at least.
That was a bit more
but only
enthusiastic.
from Sarah Glenn, nobody else. You know, you've got off the umpire. I used to say this to Amy Jones sometimes. She goes, well...
Sorry, ended the over 64-1 off 12. Yeah.
She went, I just didn't think it was out. And I'm like, I don't care whether you think it was out or not. If I'm going nuts, you've got to go nuts.
Well, exactly. It's
outrageous.
It's theatre, isn't it? What you're trying to do is manipulate the umpire into giving you a decision. So, Warney, for example, would come in and he'd go, oh no, maybe not. Oh no. And then the third one would be almost identical. And he would go utterly berserk, and the umpire go, oh no, he knows, doesn't he? He knows, because he knows how it's come out of his hand.
He's a world-class bowler, he knows.
Yeah, he's a better bowler than I am an umpire, which will be true of no disrespect to the umpires, but since he was one of the greatest bowlers who ever lived, that's how it works.
Exactly, you've got to trust him.
Yeah. Lindsay Smith has switched ends. She's in. Her first ball is heaved out towards deep mid-wicket. Danny Wyatt-Hodge moves to her right to field. They're going to take on the arm. Throw comes in, and she gets home.
It's a long way out there.
They're huge boundaries.
My favourite thing, though, is when, let's say the spinner, so let's say Lindsay now attacks leg stump, but it's probably going just down.
Yep.
But the keeper stays offside to,
the
umpires look for that. They're like, well, Amy went down leg.
Smith is in. This is chipped in the air into space out towards Danny Wyatt-Hodge, who runs in very athletically from the boundary fields. And there is just the one run, 63 for 1.
It's like when the batters, when they're at OBW and they just push, they forward lunge a bit more and push the knee well outside the line. Tammy Beaumont, if you're listening, you do that a lot.
Do you think she's escaped a few
club
LBWs?
I could never get her out in club like that. Crikey.
Lindsay Smith is in again. This is a horrible shot, really. An attempt to wipe it into the onside by Wolfhard. It's a very un-Wolfhardy shot, but she gets a single as it goes to backward square leg.
It was a tired-looking hack, wasn't it? And what I'm liking about this right now is that both batsmen are getting tired. They're having to do a lot of running. There's not been many boundaries since the power play, which is great.
41 balls since the last boundary. That's
so
7
tired.
overs. Smith in again. This is full. It's driven down the ground. It bounces in front of Danny Gibson, who comes in from the long on boundary, fires the throw in. Just another single, though.
If she'd have been fresh in, it might have carried.
Well, actually, the other thing is, she is actually quite tight on the boundary. What we saw the Australians do as well. Now she's staying in a touch.
Do you know what, Dan? I was watching that from the beginning.
That is wiped out towards mid-wicket and fielded by that Siva Brunt, sprawling to her left for 1 more to the total, 66 for 1.
And she has actually been 10 of 15 in.
Right. Well, she needs to be here.
That was the only ball. She's decided to go from 10 to 15 to about 5 off. She'll be 5 off by the time she's walked in.
Is it for different batters? For Bosch, this is sort of smeared out towards Danny Gibson, but Nat Sciver-Brunt wants a piece of it, so she decides she'll have it at short mid-wicket. But one more, nonetheless. 7 off the over, just a little bit more pace being injected. 67 for 1 from 13. That run rate still not much over 5 and over. Wolfart 39. Bosch 14 from 24. That's starting to look a bit problematic for South Africa.
Yeah, I think they are. I heard obviously on the previous commentary that Marizanne Kapp is generally thought about at number 3 sometimes, and that probably would have been a better. I'm not sure, because obviously we've seen a lot of outside the power play. It's hard to score a boundary, as we know. It's hard to score anywhere. With us having a lot of spin, Marizanne's strength is not necessarily spin.
So do you think they're holding
and
her
not
back
running
for when Nat comes back on, do you think?
Correct.
So Glenn is going to bowl a 3rd and final over of reverse
lovely
sweep. Now this could bring the first boundary in Yonks. It will do. As she gets that to the left of Capsey at backward point, that is the first boundary in around 45 balls. Much needed one from Annika Bosch. She goes to 18. South Africa 71 for 1.
Yeah, that was a great shot from Annika Bosch. England had 2 people there on backward point and like short third, but just not fine enough.
I wonder if Capsey's going to move a little bit to her left here. She's staying.
No, she's having none
square.
of it.
No, she's not interested.
I think they think it's slow enough to be wider.
Glenn in, and now it's Boulder. She went across her stumps and tried to flip the ball up and over her shoulder. Glenn has the breakthrough. It's Bosch who's got to go for 18 from 26. South Africa lose their 2nd wicket, 71 for 2.
Yeah, she took 4 or 5 miles per hour off that one. It was a bit fuller. Worked out for her had she got something on it anyway. She's just bowled her between.
From England.
Yes.
Kirsty Gorman's been in touch.
Who?
Kirsty Gorman.
Oh, I thought you said Gordon.
No, Gorman. And this is the weather in North Lancashire.
Oh.
She says, we're keeping it going today while doing the housework, gardening and constructing a new wheelbarrow. Blue skies, sun shining, coffee in the garden, washing, drying on the line. And I hate to make you jealous, but there's a lovely breeze.
UK?